Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
It's our literature unit. We're on day 2, and we are focused on this novel called One of Us is Lying. It's a whodunit or mystery or detective novel. You get clues throughout the book, you meet all the characters, and it's kind of fun to see if you can figure out who did the crime before the author actually reveals the murderer. It's usually a murder that's committed.
Exactly. So it's taking place at Bayview High School, and Simon runs a gossip app, but he and 4 other students had to serve detention one day, but Simon drank some water from the tap and had an allergic reaction to it. He died. The reaction was fatal, and then the other 4 students eventually became suspects in his murder, and there was also a post that the police found, but then an anonymous person actually posted that information online revealing the secrets of the other 4 people. And those secrets were specifically Bronwyn. She cheated on her chemistry tests. Cooper was using performance-enhancing drugs. Addie cheated on her boyfriend. And Nate is dealing drugs.
They're all kind of bad kids. So who did it or who done it? We're going to find out. We're going to be continuing on with the plot or the story of the novel. But as we always do, we're going to read through today's lesson first. As the story of the Bayview 4 goes national, Bronwyn's sister Maeve starts investigating Simon's online behavior. It turns out he'd been expressing support for school shootings on forums. Meanwhile, things are getting more difficult for the Bayview 4. Addie breaks up with Jake, and her school popularity vanishes. The police find a threatening comment Bronwyn made on Simon's profile earlier that semester. They also discover an old post of Simon's that was going to out Cooper as gay. This additional motive makes Cooper the prime suspect until evidence that incriminates Nate is found, and he's tossed in a juvenile detention center. The massive media coverage takes a sudden turn when Maeve sends Simon's forum posts to a reporter. Furthermore, other students start coming forward with stories of how Simon's app ruined their lives, and in one incident, made a girl attempt suicide. With Nate locked up, the rest of the Bayview 4 try to find out the truth for themselves. They discover that Simon killed himself and framed them all. He felt entitled to success and popularity, but both were denied him. He became depressed, and this twisted his mind into conceiving a plot to hurt the others. Simon told Jake about Addie's cheating and used Jake's sense of betrayal to enlist him as his accomplice. It was Jake who planted the phones that put them all in detention, sent the emails from the gossip app to keep the police suspicious, and set up the evidence against Nate. Thanks to the group's efforts, Jake is arrested. However, the emotional scars of what happened are something they'll all have to live with.
All right, let's continue summarizing our novel for the month of March. Again, One of Us is Lying. And we have the story of the Bayview 4 here. Remember, those are the 4 students who now look guilty of the crime of killing Simon. Okay, so as the story of the Bayview 4 goes national, Bronwyn's sister Maeve starts investigating Simon's online behavior. So, of course, Bronwyn is one of the Bayview 4. She is a suspect in the murder of Simon, so her dear sister wants to get involved, and she wants to get to the bottom of this crime and make sure that her sister is not found guilty. So she gets involved and starts investigating Simon's online behavior. So she wants to know what Simon has done in the past online, not only with that particular gossip app, but perhaps with some other things that he has posted on the internet over the years.
Yeah, nowadays everyone does that. So if you apply for a new job, your prospective boss might go online to see some of your social media posts and you might get rejected based on what he or she finds. So be careful with what you post. Try to be a good soul online. So it turns out he'd been expressing support for school shootings on forums. School shootings don't happen here, but in the States, we're kind of getting used to it. A kid will kind of feel like he's been picked on or bullied, and he'll go home and grab one of his parents' guns and go to school and try to shoot as many of his classmates or teachers that they can. So that's what a school shooting is. Now, a forum, that's one of our vocab words. A forum used to be a place or a meeting where people would get together and express and exchange their views on things, especially particular issues. Nowadays, we have forums that are on social media platforms. So you can get on social media, pick your favorite forum, and then your username. Sometimes people don't use their real names. They have a pseudonym or a fake name. And they write about how they believe about certain things, how they feel, their views, their opinions. Those are forums. And that's what Maeve started investigating. She found that he had posted some awful things about school shootings. It says he'd been expressing support, so he was like, yay, we need more school shootings. That sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible, and of course Simon is kind of exposed for supporting school shootings. Sounds like a bad apple. Meanwhile, at the same time, things are getting more difficult for the Bayview 4. So, of course, that means that while this person, Maeve, is starting to investigate Simon's online behavior, the other 4 people who are suspicious, who are suspects in the crime, they are having difficulty, as you might expect. Now, first of all, here's what happens with Addie. Remember, Addie is very popular, but she's insecure. She breaks up with Jake because the information revealed that she had been cheating on him, so I'm sure Jake was not happy about that. So they had arguments, and they broke up. They're no longer going together. They're no longer going steady. And her school popularity vanishes. So she used to be really popular, but she's no longer popular. And popularity here is the degree to which someone is popular. Your popularity will increase if you're nice to people, or if you're successful, if you get good grades, if you're good in sports and stuff like that. Your popularity will improve, or you will be very popular.
Yeah, so you can be liked by people or admired or supported. That will increase your popularity, or it will make you more popular. For some reason, especially in high school, it starts in junior high, I think, kids really want to be popular, and their popularity becomes very important to a lot of them. Well, Addie was popular, but she was very insecure, remember? She didn't have a lot of true self-confidence. If you're really self-confident, you probably don't care if you're popular, but, that happens as we all, grow up. We go through these stages. Addie breaks up with Jake, her boyfriend, and her school popularity vanishes. To vanish means to disappear entirely. So the police find a threatening comment Bronwyn made on Simon's profile earlier that semester. If you make a threatening comment of some sort, you're saying, if you don't do this, I'm going to hurt you. Yeah, it's not very nice to threaten people. That's the verb. So a threatening comment is kind of a deliberately scary comment you make, or a comment you make to frighten somebody into doing what you want them to do. So, yeah. The police find a threatening comment that Bronwyn made on Simon's profile earlier that semester. That makes her look even more suspicious to the police.
Right, so this would maybe be his web page or something like that, or his page on the app or whatever. So she made a comment there that sounded threatening. It wasn't nice. Remember, Bronwyn is the nerdy person who is ambitious, okay? So that doesn't make her look good. And the police also discover an old post of Simon's that was going to out Cooper as gay. Here the word out is being used as a verb. It just means to reveal someone, to reveal one's secret. So he's going to actually let everybody know that Cooper is actually gay. And nowadays, of course, gay lifestyles are getting more and more accepted all the time. But sometimes in high school, if you're gay or if people find out about it, it can be trouble for you. And Cooper, of course, is a jock. He's a baseball star. He was, what was the king?
Prom king.
Prom king, exactly. Could have been homecoming king as well. So he probably doesn't want everybody to find out that he's gay. And, of course, Simon was going to out Cooper as gay, so that kind of reveals his secret. Cooper has to come out of the closet now.
Yeah, Tom mentioned a word just a minute ago, homecoming king. We have a homecoming dance or prom. We'd even call it homecoming prom sometimes in the fall. So, yeah, he could have been really worried about that. Most athletes, especially at that age, they don't want to be outed as gay. They want to be seen as very macho. And they want the girls to love them. So this additional motive, remember, motive means you have a reason for doing something. It then makes Cooper the prime suspect. When you see these words together, the prime suspect, you know that you're watching a mystery TV program or movie or reading a novel. And this is the person that looks the most suspicious to the police. So it looks like they've started to gather some clues together, some evidence, and it looks like Cooper has the biggest motive or the strongest reason to have killed this Simon, who's a creep too. Well, that all changes when evidence that incriminates Nate is found. And he's tossed in a juvenile detention center. Evidence, of course, is proof that something has happened or that something's true. We use evidence in court. The police try to find as much evidence against somebody that they suspect so that they can charge them with a crime. Evidence is usually non-count, guys. Don't say, oh, the police have a lot of evidences. No.
So, and yes, evidence here is non-count. So the evidence could be his image in surveillance footage, his fingerprints at the scene of the crime, a bullet that could be traced back to his gun, stuff like that. Those are all kinds of evidence, and it incriminates him. It makes him guilty, and he's tossed in a juvenile detention center.
Incriminate means to appear guilty. Yeah.
I guess so. Incriminate. Yeah, he's not really found guilty yet. But still, he is tossed in a juvenile detention center, which is kind of like saying he is guilty. But juvenile just means somebody who's not 18 years old yet, so they have to be treated in a different way. Okay, that brings us to the midway point in today's lesson. Let's take a break right now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天继续带大家来看看谁在说谎这部小说哦。好，我们昨天有讲到说这个湾景四人组啊，不知道到底是谁杀死了 Simon， 所以因为这个湾景四人组的故事已经传遍全国，大家都在关注。Brown 他姐姐 Maeve 就开始来调查 Simon 的网络行为。结果发现呢，其实 Simon 之前一直有在论坛上啊表达对枪击事件、校园的枪击事件哦，他居然表达支持诶。第二句我们把那个 turn out 特别抓出来，如果是 turn out to be 或是 turn out that， 就表示结果跟原本的预期不相同。所以结果居然发现 Simon 其实一直在论坛上是表达对校园枪击事件是有支持的，而同时其实对于剩下的4个湾景四人组来说，情况是越来越困难。为什么呢？当这个谣言被揭露之后， Eddie 就跟 Jack 分手，然后他在学校的人气就消失啦。后来警方又发现 Brown 在那个学期比较早些的时候，有在 Simon 的个人档案上面发表一些威胁性的留言。我们看一下同样第一段的第5句，看到一个关系子句，但是关系词被省略掉咯。先行词是 a threatening command， 威胁性的评论。后面的 Brown 一直到句尾可以左右括号，但是省略的是 that 或者是 which。那么警方还发现什么东西呢？他们还发现 Simon 一篇比较旧的贴文， 当时就将揭露 Cooper 是同性恋。好，也就是说，这样子的一个额外动机，其实让 Cooper 成为了一个主要的嫌疑人。但是后来大家没有怀疑他，为什么呢？破折号，一直到 Ned 看似有罪的证据被发现之后，后来才停止大家这样的怀疑。我们来看一下同样这一段的第7句的地方，也有一个限定用法的关系子句，先行词是 evidence， 那么 evidence 后面的 that 一直到 net 这3个字可以左右挂号起来。那当然时间上的 until 是强调这个时间点之前的状况，所以第7句其实要表现的是 Ned 有罪的证据被揭发之前， Cooper 都是一个主要的嫌疑人。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about our novel, One of Us is Lying. It sounds like one of the suspects wrote that title, One of Us is Lying, and it's not me. Who is it? When we left, we were talking about more of the plot, that it continues on after day 1. When we started today, we found out that Bronwyn has a sister called Maeve, and she starts investigating Simon's online behavior.Probably a smart sister, loves her sisters, wanting to protect her. Well, it turns out Simon had been posting on these online forums, expressing his support for school shootings.Maybe he'd been planning to kill some of his own classmates because he didn't like them. Well, meanwhile, things are getting more difficult for the Bayview 4. I think the Bayview 4 is probably the name that the media gave to these 4 kids. Usually the media comes up with some catchy phrase or title for a murder suspect or a group of murder suspects. So they're the Bayview 4. Now, Addie, remember, she's popular but insecure. She cheated on her boyfriend, Jake. Well, she breaks up with Jake, and her school popularity vanishes or disappears. The police also find a threatening comment Bronwyn made on Simon's profile earlier that semester. She might have written, "Oh, I can't believe you said that. I'm going to kill you," which sometimes we just say as an exaggerated comment. No one takes that seriously, except nowadays maybe you should. So they also discover an old post of Simon's. He was going to out Cooper or reveal that Cooper's gay. So this additional motive or reason to kill Simon makes Cooper the prime suspect, the one that the police are looking at the hardest. That is true, though, until evidence that incriminates or makes someone appear guilty. That's Nate. Some evidence that incriminates Nate is found. And the police toss him in a juvenile detention center, which is kind of like a prison for kids before they're 18 and declared an adult by the court.
Right, so he's probably suspected of this crime, but he's just in the juvenile detention center for now, so they haven't found the killer yet. And here in the next paragraph it says, the massive media coverage takes a sudden turn when Maeve sends Simon's forum posts to a reporter. So, of course, we've got massive media coverage locally and nationally, and it takes a turn. It changes. There's a big twist in the plot here. Maeve actually finds some foreign posts. Well, she had found those forum posts, and she sent them to a reporter. And furthermore, or in addition, also, other students start coming forward with stories of how Simon's app ruined their lives, and in one incident made a girl attempt suicide. So here to come forward means to actually come out and say, yes, I was affected by this. Was it Harvey Weinstein or whatever, the guy Weinstein, when he was accused of raping women, lots of other women came forward. Well, he did that to me too. Yeah, me too. He's a bad guy. So they all came forward. And in this particular case, lots of people came forward or, approached the police and said, yeah, his app ruined my lives. And specifically, there's one incident here in which a girl attempted suicide. An incident is when something happens, okay? Here in Taiwan, of course, we've got the 228 incident that happened a long time ago. And, of course, we commemorate that. Well, I don't say we commemorate, but I guess we remember it every year. And this is an incident here in which someone tried to kill themselves to commit suicide.
They'll often use this word in the news to describe something that was kind of a violent event. Maybe there was a big fight or someone was assaulted and there was an incident this weekend and someone was killed after they were assaulted with a knife, things like that. So in one incident or one event or occurrence, it's just one, it's countable, Simon actually made a girl attempt suicide. Wow, so if you attempt suicide, you try to kill yourself, but you fail. Yay. So with Nate locked up, and Tom's right, he's in a type of jail, but it wasn't because he was found guilty of the crime already. Sometimes the police can arrest you and hold you so you can't just escape to another country, and that's where he's being held. He was locked up there. The rest of the Bayview 4 try to find out the truth for themselves. So Nate can't help them, right? But the rest of the kids kind of gang together, group together, work together, and see if they can find out the truth for themselves.
They certainly can. And now we're going to give you a spoiler alert because now we're going to reveal who the actual killer was. In the final paragraph, it says, they discover that Simon killed himself and framed them all. He committed suicide, he killed himself, and if you frame someone, that means you make it look like they committed the crime when they really didn't, and this happens a lot in detective stories. When somebody doesn't like somebody and they want to commit a crime, but they don't want to be found guilty, they make it look like somebody else did it, and they frame that person.
That's right. You'll often hear criminals who are arrested or found guilty say, "No, I'm innocent. The police framed me." And sometimes there are bad police, but it's rare. It happens, but it's rare. I would tend to look into that criminal a little closer if they said that the police framed them, though. So you just kind of set up all the evidence so it points towards some person, even though they are innocent, they're not guilty. It happens. Sometimes a spouse will set up their husband or wife and make it look like they did a crime to get rid of them. They frame their spouse, which is awful. Now, Simon felt entitled to success and popularity. Now, if you feel entitled, it just means there's something inside you that thinks, hey, wait, I deserve this. I earned this. Or I'm such a good person, I should get this. Or I'm rich. I shouldn't have to follow the laws like everybody else. So Simon felt he was entitled or deserved to have success and popularity, but both were denied him. He felt like he had neither one, even though he felt like, I should have these things. Life isn't fair.
Exactly. Well, yeah, here Simon became depressed, and this twisted his mind into conceiving a plot to hurt the others. And Simon told Jake about Addie's cheating and used Jake's sense of betrayal to enlist him as his accomplice. Oh no, so here we've got Jake getting involved as well. We're talking about betrayal. That's when you let somebody down. If you betray someone, for example, you cheat on your girlfriend. You betrayed your girlfriend, or you promised somebody to do something, but you did not, and you harmed that person. You betrayed them.
Yeah, and he used Jake's sense of betrayal to enlist him or sign him up as his accomplice. Your accomplice is someone who helps you, usually in a crime. It was Jake who planted the phones. He didn't actually put them in dirt, guys. It just means he put that evidence somewhere to frame those kids. So he planted the phones that put them all in detention. He sent the emails from the gossip app to keep the police suspicious. Remember, if someone's suspicious, they have a feeling inside themselves that tells them, ooh, they shouldn't trust somebody. It's just kind of that cautious feeling inside. Ooh, maybe I need to be a little careful. Or if the police look at someone as being suspicious, they think they might have committed a crime. Well, Jake helped set up the evidence against Nate, because that point, of course, Simon's gone. Thanks to the group's efforts, Jake is arrested. So at least they got Jake arrested for helping, frame them all. However, the emotional scars of what happened are something they'll have to live with. What are they talking about there, Tom?
When something bad happens to you, of course, it affects you for the rest of your life. If you're ever beaten up when you're a kid or you suffered some form of abuse, it will stay with you for the rest of your life. Even though you don't have a physical scar, it's an emotional scar. You're going to be thinking about it every day, and it will affect how you live. So yes, indeed, these people will be affected by this for the rest of their lives. Hopefully, they won't turn into criminals as a result. Okay, this brings us to the end of our lesson for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
那么我们刚刚一开始有说啊 Bronwyn 他姐姐 Maeve他有查到网络啊，在网络上 Simon 之前都一直有在论坛上表达对于校园枪击事件的支持，所以后来呢，当 Maeve 把这样子的一个论坛贴文发送给记者的时候，大量的媒体报道的就突然就发生转变了。而且呢，其他的学生就开始慢慢的站出来，他们就提出有关于 Simon 的这种 Gossip App 这个应用程式毁了他们的生活，然后呢，甚至还有一个女生企图还要自杀耶。我们看一下第二段第二句的地方，首先一开始看到一个 furthermore， 除此之外还有其他的事情爆发出来，所以其实这个八卦程式做了两个很致命的动作，第一，毁掉很多学生的生活，第二，在某一个事件当中，是一个女同学她企图想要自杀，第二个动词这个 made 是实义动词 made someone do something。 好，那么后来呢，因为 Ned 又被关起来，所以湾景四人组的其他的人呢，一直想要把真相找出来。那到底他们发现什么了呢？最后啊，剩下的这个湾景四人组，他们发现 Simon 其实根本就是自杀，然后呢是陷害其他4个所有的人。Simon 希望自己能成功，然后很受欢迎，但是都没有达成目标，所以在沮丧之余，他的思想也开始扭曲，他就构想了一个伤害其他人的阴谋。他找谁跟他合作呢？他找 Jack， 也就是他告诉 Jack 有关于 Eddie 劈腿的事情，那么 Jack 就跟 Simon 一起来合作，变成他的共犯。所以我们接下来就要看到第3段第5句的地方，就是 Jack 去栽赃，让他们全部被留校，然后八卦应用程式再发送电子邮件，让警方来保持怀疑，然后还设一些对 Ned 不利的证据。所以这个第5句呢，其实蛮重要的。第一个呢，它是一个强调句型，我们把 it was 跟跳一个 Jake 后面的 who 这边可以把它框起来。我们看到的是 Jake 做了3个动作，一 planted 他栽赃，第二个动作 sent 他寄电子邮件，接下来跳到后面逗点之后 and set up 他就设置了一个对 Ned 不利的证据。好，所以我们现在要强调，就是 Jake 做了这3个不好的事情，我们把 Jake 拉出来，放在 it was 跟 who that 的中间，就形成了所谓的强调句、分裂句。好，那当然啦，之后呢，这个就被逮捕啦。不过整个事件造成的一个感情的创伤，是真的是伤害很大。以上呢是我们今天对于看谁在说谎故事情节的说明，明天我们会针对这本小说再做一些评论哦。我是安娜，我们明天见。
That's it for today, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Please join us again next time when we actually talk about the author herself of our featured novel, One of Us is Lying. It's quite a fascinating story, so we hope you join us then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.